Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? And welcome. Just going to check that I am actually live. I suppose I could pop the screen out. Well, according to this, I'm not live, but I'm sure I am. Let's have a look at Go Live, see if it's listed in here. Guess it's not had a chance to update YouTube yet. There we are live. Hopefully you can all hear me. By the way, I'm on the MX. Good for you, Johan. You don't get better than the MX, I tell you. Pop out chat, lovely. Let's minimize that. And we'll make the chat a bit smaller, just so you can see the desktop. Always on top. Gotta love Linux for that, ain't you? Just saying. So welcome everybody. Thank you, Bex. Much obliged. Thank you, Johan. Hey up, Johnny. Nice to see you. How you doing? Hey up, Johan. Hey up, our Bexy. Hey up, Jazz. Hey up, Robbie. I think that's everybody here so far. Hey up, Ray. Nice to see you, man. So, as you can see in tonight's stream, I'm on the world's favourite Linux desktop, which is, of course, Ubuntu. This is on my secondary dual core PC. Hey up, Craig. Lovely to see you. Give Michael my best wishes. I hope you're all safe and well. So we're on Ubuntu on the dual core. We've only got two low processors. This is the one that's had Mint on it, Zorin OS, and God knows what. So I thought to put the world's favourite desktop Linux on it, which is of course Ubuntu. We don't need network, so there we go. So we've got two cores and we've got 4 GB of RAM. We're currently using 2.4 gig of actual RAM and 91 meg of swap in a swap file, as it has no swap partition on the hard drive. And I have to say the installation was, of course, flawless. It was really, really easy and simple to do. It was that easy that any schmuck could do it. If I can do it, any schmuck can do it. And so far, Ubuntu has been an absolute joy to use. No need to go into the terminal whatsoever. Like Windows, it's very much a point and click operating system. So you have a pointer, you have icons. Meh. You use your scroll mouse wheel and you point and click. And that's the idea behind Ubuntu. Okay, completely different interface to Windows, but not that different. No dot Ubuntu. Yeah, but it is the world's favourite Linux, Ray, whichever way you look at it. Downloaded 24 Cinnamon. Might mess with it later. Yeah, good for you, Ray. You enjoy. Let us know how you get on with it. Johan, by the way, I quit my job last week and stopped working because I've saved enough to do so. Good for you, Johan. You enjoy your non-working time. Good for you. I'm very, very happy for you, Johan. That'll give you a lot more time now to do live streams and try different distros. And let us know what you think of them. That's awesome, Johan. Well done, you, mate. I'm just crept into my 60s, Johan, and I ain't done it yet. So well done, you. Very, very pleased for you. Plenty of time to be eating cheese. Love it, Ray. Love it. Me, live stream. Yeah, absolutely, Johan. That thick Dutch accent of yours. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. You're 63. I don't know, that's 63 or 68. I'm going to go with 63. I'm 61, Johan, so I'm only just behind you. But according to the British government, I've got to keep going till I'm 67. If I make it that far. Anyway, Ubuntu. Well, it's been great. It's really no different usage wise to Windows. You click on something happens. You're done really, ain't you? Everybody goes on about how difficult Linux is to learn. If you're not an enthusiast or a techie, then no, not really. If you're just a Windows user that's used to pointing and clicking, pretty much the same on Linux, isn't it? Irrespective of the distro or the desktop, it's point and click. Unless you go for, i3 or one of the tiling window managers. You're 67, older than both of you. Whippersnappers, yeah. The difference is, Craig, if you lived in the UK, you could retire. By the time I get to 67, they'll probably put it up to 72. The idea is you never retire. You just keep going and paying until you die. That's the idea of this bloody country. Don't worry about that. So, with Ubuntu, I've only bought a couple of apps down, namely Google Chrome, Simple Screen, and GIMP. If you're bringing stuff down, then the only thing I would say is if you don't want to use snaps, then you just got to be mindful where you install stuff from. So I'll bring OBS down. The software center itself seems to be running fine, he says. Oh, there's Htop. I wanted to install that earlier on. Bob Ross quotes, oh, there's the Dixcord. Well, we'll bring that down first of all. So rather than just clicking on install, you just need to come up to this drop down here. Now, this is only available as a snap. So there's no other option on the Discord. Let me just go back to OBS. Again, it wants to install a snap. Just move that. But this time there's an option for Ubuntu Jammy Universe. So there you go. So let's go ahead and bring that down. By the way, what happened to PC Linux OS? Nothing. It's still on the SSD, Johan. It's just that I'm using MX Linux full time. So I've got no requirement to use it. I'm very, very happy with MX. This secondary PC I'm using rather than VirtualBox. Then I've got my main gaming PC, which is Windows 11, and I'm waiting for the 24H2 to drop so I can thrash it and check it out. Hey up, Dave. Lovely to see you. I hope you and Mrs. Dave are safe and well. Much, much love, buddy. So there's OBS brought down. But of course, with the Dixcord, there's absolutely no option other than to install it as a snap. We could install it as a flat pack or an app image, I guess. But as snap is the supplied preferred installation format, we'll let that come down as a snap. But as in terms of point and click, I've got to be honest, I can't really find any differences. You know, if you want to get under the hood, home Windows users don't. All they want is a screen that they can point and click and shit happens, and that's it, they're done. They don't give a shiny one about the OS, be it Windows, Mac or Linux. They don't care, they don't know, and they don't want to know. Excuse me. You have a script for Ubuntu, it downloads Brave, removes Snapd and replaces software with Snap. Yeah, I'm interested, Ray. Why Brave? Why not Google Chrome? Because Brave's built and based off of Google Chrome, isn't it? It's the same meta engine, so good to be back from the abyss. Good to have you back, Dave. How are you, by the way? You had a straight? Yes, I had a straight last August, Joanne. I was bedridden for about 3 days and then got in the gym. I quit smoking. I still vape, but I don't smoke any more cigarettes. I quit McDonald's. I walk a mile every night, and I'm getting there. It's a tiny little bit of improvement every day. It's microscopic improvement, but over a long period of time, it's a massive improvement. So, yeah, thank you for asking, Johan. I'm getting there. It just takes a lot of time. Easier to download via Bash than downloading a deb than CD into it. All right, okay, Ray. I just wondered, just curious, because for me, Google Chrome is the best web browser. I actually use Firefox as my main browser because I love the Foxy Woxy. Always have. Oh, I've got to be careful here. Sorry, all. Just trying to sit up. Don't want to go and rip my headset out, but I do need a coffee and I do need a vape. Just saying. Oh, thank you, Bex. That's very kind. Well, you can only do your best, Johan. I don't think you ever fully recover. I don't think I'll ever be back to how I was pre-stroke, but if I can get close, then I'm happy. You can't ask for more, can you? Good for you, Ray. Well, if you're happy with it and it ain't broke, don't fix it. You still suffer from migraine, Joanne. Oh, bless you. Well, I'm assuming you've been to the doctors and explored all the possibilities and all that shenanigans, shaboodle, shamarkle. So I really can't add anything to that at all, can I? I just want to change that to try and make that a bit bigger for you. Well, there you go. That's better. That's better. And this has all been done on a little dual core with 4 GB of RAM. So anybody that tells you that a Core2Duo plus 4 GB of RAM can't stream, they're talking bollocks. Just saying. Thank you, Bex. I've not been that good. Just saying. So the Dix cord is up to 84%. Not really a good idea to bring a snap down while I'm live streaming, is it? But hey, look, it is Ebeez. What do you expect? Not that I'm going to use the Discord on this PC anyway, but it is nice to have it. The other thing I want to try out is bringing Steam down. And when the live stream's done, I'll see if I can install a really old game like the original Fallout. See if we can get that up and running. That'd be interesting. I might bring Fallout 2 down actually, and then install Open Fallout. Okay, so that's done. So let's do a quick search for Steam. So actually, coming from Windows, Steam installer, Ubuntu Jammy. Yep, that's the one. Beautiful. Actually, coming from Windows, it's really not that difficult, is it, to make the switch to Linux on the desktop? If you've not got a specialist use case or a special requirement, i.e., if you're just a normal home user, do a bit of internet, a bit of email, a bit of shopping, a bit of social networking, even a bit of media and a bit of gaming, a dual core and 4 GB of RAM is going to do you just fine. And pretty much any Linux distro that you want to throw on there is going to run beautifully. Hey up, Michael. Lovely to see you. Hope you're safe and well, you old buzzard. Anybody tried? I don't know what that is. Plasma 6. Nope. But I'm sure we'll get there, Johan. We've got a gazillion distros to try on these live streams. Next week I was thinking of doing Arch. But I might stay on Ubuntu. I tell you what, Ubuntu is a beautiful distro, isn't it? I mean, look at this. It's absolutely fecking gorgeous. It really is. Absolutely beautiful. And I know there's a lot of people, it's got the GNOME desktop interface. I don't use GNOME. I don't like GNOME. Well, fine. Go and use something else. But for the ordinary user, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm guessing that if you don't fill it full of extensions, then it'll run as the day's long. I'm guessing. Would you all agree or disagree? Nothing beats Arc Dark theme. Oh God. Hey up GS70, how you diddly doing? Nope, switching is not hang on, switching is not hard, but needs patience as you migrate into the Linux system. I don't see how, GS, for the ordinary user, because the ordinary user doesn't know how to use Windows. They just point and click and Windows is there just to launch their apps. Well, it's exactly the same on Linux. So I can't make this correlation. It's not like in the old days where you had to install it via a terminal, you had to know Linux commands. Today, the installers are all graphical and it's point and click. So I don't get the correlation from people when they say, oh, it's really hard to make the transition from Windows over to Linux. Why is it hard? It's exactly the same. You've got a mouse pointer, you've got an icon, you click on the icon, shit happens. There you go. I don't see what the hard bit is. I don't get it. Hey up, Cody. Lovely to see you. Standard Ubuntu is good on laptop mostly because you're forced to use the keyboard. Maybe broken Ebeez. When I used Ubuntu, I added Flatpaks and used that for things like Discord and other stuff. Yeah, that's great, Michael. But Michael, you're a Linux enthusiast. I'm talking about people who point and click on icons on a desktop and they don't care whether it's Linux, Windows, or Mac. And I think desktop Linux is now at the point where the correlation to Windows is identical. You can install Ubuntu and never, ever click on the terminal. Why do you need to click on the terminal? Why? You don't. Johan, dark but not too dark. Me likes it. Oh, you do? You like it dark but not too dark, do you, Johan? I am new to Linux. Haha. Currently using Zorin OS 17 Pro. Yeah, that's a great distro, Stealth. But the thing is, the correlation between Zorin OS 17 and Windows 10 or 11 is identical. You've got icons, you point and click. You have a terminal. If you want to go into the terminal and use commands and learn Linux, that's great. But it's a choice. Most home users don't want to do that. They want to see an icon, click on it, and something happens. And there you go. Linux is no different to Windows in that sense. And I see so many YouTubers saying, oh, and Windows YouTubers, not just Linux YouTubers, but also Windows YouTubers. And well, you could switch to Ubuntu or to Linux Mint or to Zorin OS, but it's not that straightforward and it's not that easy. For the majority of home users who do shopping, email, social media, it really is that easy. They live their life in a web browser anyway. They never ever see the desktop. So I don't get what the correlation is. I wish somebody had explained it to me. Yeah, absolutely, Bex. I mean, for most home users, the most heaviest gaming they do is Candy Crush. Oh yeah, you ain't needing a graphics card for Candy Crush. Just saying. To experience Okay, so you're talking to Joanne. That's ready. Already tried it, Ray. Yeah, Dave. I actually enjoy playing around with Linux, but only drawback right now for me is I have a huge amount of software on me. Yeah, which is fine, Dave, but that's a specialist use case. You know, you're not an ordinary, average, everyday, run of the mill, ho hum computer user. You're an enthusiast, you have your games library. I get it. That's fine. I get it. Absolutely get it. But for your ordinary computer user that, as I'll say for the thousandth time, does a bit of email, bit of internet, bit of YouTube, bit of Netflix, a bit of social media, bit of Facebook, bit of WhatsApp, bit of Spotify. What's the difference between Ubuntu, Zorin, Linux Mint, or MX Linux and Windows? Oh yeah, there isn't one. Because both, the user just goes to an icon, clicks on it. Let's just start Google Chrome, right? So they click on Google Chrome, open the web browser. That's it. That is it. They never ever see the desktop again. They're not interested. So I don't get why so many people say it's really, really hard. And you have to bear in mind, I'm talking about ordinary PC users now. I'm not talking about techies or MCSEs or Linux enthusiasts. I'm talking about your ordinary family users, right? No difference, is there? There's just no difference. I do feck on Linux, as Ebeez always say. Yeah, absolutely, Jan. But the thing is, it does what you need it to do. So it's good enough. Ray, if you don't like the animations on Ubuntu, oh, turn them off in accessibility settings, make it feel snappier. Hey up, Jeff. Lovely to see you. Hope you're safe and well, my friend. So turn it off in accessibility settings. Okay, let's see if we can make it a bit snappier. Accessibility settings. Here we go. Enable animations. Turn them off. There we go. Thank you for that tip. That's awesome. I mean, as if it weren't quick enough. It's even quicker now. And this is on a dual core with 4 GB of RAM. And if you listen to YouTube, the only place this PC should go is the tip. It's e-waste. What does Ebeez say? Bollocks. Do one. That's why I recommend Ubuntu for people who want a different layout. Linux Mint for people who want a Windows-like layout. Download Deb and open it, same as Exe. Yeah, absolutely, Cody. It's no different for your ordinary Windows user. Absolutely no different. Hey up, Lev. Lovely to see you, man. Hope you're safe and well. Thank you for joining. Jeff said it's pretty cool what you can do gaming wise without a graphics card. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. You don't need a graphics card to do AAA gaming. Just load up Google Chrome GeForce now. You're done. Even on this, it's the only reason I've got Google Chrome installed on here because Firefox is my main browser. But I did go ahead and install GeForce now, and you can play pretty much whatever you want. There you go. You're done. I don't really want to minimize the chat, but anyway, not now. I mean, how many games do you need? You don't even have to install or maintain the bloody things. Just click on them and play them. Of course, the limitation is the game needs to be on GeForce Now. What have we got for Fallout? So none of the Fallouts are on GeForce Now. I know SWOTOR's not on GeForce Now. But we do have Jedi Fallen Order. We do have Rogue Squadrons. We do have Battlefront. Is that the remaster? Yes, it is, Darkfall. I've got to buy that. I haven't bought this yet. But I think it's only about £3 on Steam, and that's the remaster. And it looks very much to me like Age of Empires reskin, or it's a Command and Conquer type turn-based RPG. But I mean, Jesus, look at this here, right here. Mortal Kombat Online. Get over here. Come here. I'd love to say that to Windows 10 users. Get over here. But hey ho. I'm obviously in a unique club of one, and I'm doing my absolute best to drag people over and failing miserably. Uh, wish I hadn't 2 feet. Firefox is still the only browser I use. Yeah, it's my main browser. Johan, it's the one that's got all my bookmarks, all my shortcuts in, and I love it. But with the caveat that for GeForce Now and for media, Google Chrome is better. So if I want to watch movies, box sets, if I want to live stream sports, Google Chrome is better than Firefox. It just is. But anyway. No SWOTA. No, there's no SWOTA. Guild Wars 2's on there, Bex, but there's no SWOTA. You load of chabs. Can't spell lol. For someone green, out of the woods with no time no time on Windows, Linux is perfect. Just saying, yeah, absolutely. Google Chrome, everyone knows Microsoft's Edge is better. Well, yeah, it's Edge. How is Edge better than Google Chrome when everything's built and based off of Google Chrome, Craig? I don't understand that comment. If Google Chrome was built and based off of Edge, then I'd understand the comment. Why is Edge better? It's not. Just saying. It's not. By the way, the animation tweak can help a lot of older systems, makes it less sluggish. Yeah, absolutely, Ray. Thank you for that. So as you can see, it's now instant with a dual core. And Ray's absolutely right. Whereas with the animations, took time to load the animations and execute them. So thank you, Ray. Got a 64-bit Pentium 4 running Pep Classic. Good for you, Ray. All right, all going back to work. Yeah, take it easy, Cody. Much love to you, buddy. Much love. Really, Dave. Now, come on. When have I ever done that sort of thing? I've never been one of those. Oh, just aspects. Edge's Chromium. Absolutely, still. So, what's Chromium built and based off? Yeah, it's Google Chrome, but without all the Wildvine elements and all the codecs. So, get out of here. Give me a break. I've been doing this shit for too many years. I've got too many years under my belt not to know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to reel off all my qualifications, blah, blah, blah. Needless to say, I did spend 30 years in IT in a live environment, corporate environment. So I kind of got a bit of a clue what I'm on about. Love it. Love it, you cheap bastard. Still can't say it like you can, Dave. Only the Americans can say that with gusto and finesse, just saying. Wonder how the ad blocker will still work on Chrome. Ad blocker works fine, Johan. So if we go to Google Chrome, the two extensions that I always add, just minimize that, are of course uBlock Origin. I always add that. That's the blocker. Add to Chrome. So there we go. That's now pinned. Beautiful. and that's now active. And the other thing I had is touch. I think you must have all seen me do videos on these before. Touch VPN. And I add that to Chrome. That gives me a VPN for when I'm within Chrome only, which is really, really useful for, thank you, for watching, dodgy streams, etc. And that's pretty much it. You're done. You're good to go. So um, we've got GeForce Now extension installed. We've got uBlock Origin as the ad blocker, and then we've got the Touch VPN, which is a free VPN. We can let it automatically connect to what it thinks is the best choice, or we can override it and select the United States, Canada, strong Russian connection, Germany, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, or the Ascension Islands. That is really useful when you want to do a bit of dodgy boxing or a bit of dodgy live streaming of sports. It's fantastic. And the rest of the time you can leave it off, just leave your ad blocker on. And the ad blocker works fine. So let's go www.youtube.com. Oh, this side can't be reached. Oh, why did I put that in there? Oh, yeah. Intel inside, twat outside. That's why. So if we go on to YouTube, then it should block pretty much every ad. It's very, very good as uBlock Origin. And of course, it's 100% free. Let me go on to my website. And I am streaming. So if it does go a bit dodgy, well, that's why. And let's open up a video. There you go. Beautiful. What more do you want? It works fine. Unless I've not understood your question, Johan. I have exception success with CyberGhost. Yeah, but the thing is, Dave, what you've got to understand is an external VPN is for the whole PC. A browser VPN is only active and useful while you're in that browser in a live session, which is what I want. I don't want a VPN when I'm gaming because all it's going to do is slow the gaming experience down. But when I'm dodgy boxing or when I'm dodgy live sports streaming, then I want a VPN. So that's the rationale there. Not a single issue after a week of usage. That's great to hear. Yeah, and I'm the same. I love my MX Linux so much. I really do. But it's also nice to do a different distro every week on bare metal. And Linux desktops are now that good. It's not like, 5 or even 10 years ago where it was really hit and miss. And if, like me, you're on older hardware, you're in a great place. Really, really great place. I still use a 2006 Gateway dual core. Still a viable laptop with Linux. Yeah, absolutely, Lev. Christ's sake, it's not E-Ways. This is a dual core with 4 gigs of RAM. Runs fantastic. Stick Linux on it, beautiful. If I wanted to put Windows on it, I'd probably have to go back to Windows XP, I'm guessing, to get this sort of performance. And then what the hell are you going to run on Windows XP? Got a 64-bit Pentium 4. Yeah, I've read all that. Let me just check. I just wanted to make sure I didn't misunderstand Johan. So next time we can expect KDE Neon with Plasma 6 Ebeez. Well, I hadn't know. You won't know. I shan't be doing KDE Neon because that again is Ubuntu Debian, isn't it? Next week I'm probably going to do Arch Linux, something on Arch. Uh, but I will look at running KDE Plasma 6 on Arch. How about that, Johan? Hey up, Bri. Lovely to see you, man. Hope you're safe and well. Lovely to see you. Really enjoying your channel's content, Bri. Please keep it going, mate. Some great content. If any of you are not subbed to Brian from Britech, go check his channel out and give him a sub and thumb up some of his videos. They're great, great videos. Lovely to see you, Bri. Hope you and the family are safe and well, my friend. Johan B or Tumbleweed? Nah, I think we're going to leave SUSE, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Linux from scratch, Slackware. They're all very specialist. They're not your average everyday, they're very much enthusiast distribution, like as of course is Gen 2. But we can kind of get away with Arch in Gen 2 by using pre-built distros. So on Gen 2, it's Calculate, Linux as of Adrian Linux tips, and of course on Arch we could go Arca Linux. So I could do Arca Linux with the latest KDE Plasma 6, and we'll perhaps do that next week as opposed to Ubuntu. Give Archcraft a look. Yep, we'll certainly do that, Ray. Thank you for the recommendation. I am a server, love his content. Yeah, absolutely, Stealth. I love Bryce content. He's down to earth. He knows his onions, and he's always helping people. He does great videos. He don't faff about. He's not like some of these, tit heads on YouTube. He's a great guy. I love Brian from Britech to bits. Great guy. I could have a pint down the pub with him all day long. Thank you, Dave. Much obliged. He's got some great content. Go and check him out. Hey up, Gray. Lovely to see you, man. How you diddly doing? I used Tumbleweed with KDE for 10 days until Codex update. Yeah, you see, I don't want any of that, Johan. I just want something I can throw on the PC that works out the box. I don't want to have to spend, I mean, I could do, but I don't want to spend time tinkering because I'm very much trying to come at this whole live stream series from I'm currently running Windows 10. I'm not going to upgrade to 11. I've got till 2025. What do I do? Well, as I said, a Windows user 9 times out of 10 doesn't even see the desktop because they're doing something on the desktop. It's no different to Linux. It's exactly the same. From that user's point of view, it's just point and click. You point and click on something and some shit happens. Whether you're on Mac, Windows, Linux is irrelevant. It's the same. Now, of course, that's not everybody. There's, enthusiasts, there's gamers, there's people who use Adobe or Microsoft Office, but they're not your ordinary home users, are they? Just saying. That's why I chose MX. You won't go wrong with MX, Johan. MX is one of the best out there for a reason. Because Dolphin and the guys over at MX Antics are, for me, as I've said before, Dolphin for me is the Steve Jobs of Linux. He'll get all the text together and say, well, this is fantastic. That's fantastic. How do we bring it to the plebs? And bang, do they bring it to the plebs? It's just fantastic. You can use Windows 10 Enterprise. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm struggling to read till 2035 Windows Enterprise. But Brian, quick question for you. Do you think your average home user is going to do that? So if you're a home user who spends your whole life in your web browser, you don't even know what Windows is. Do you think the average user is going to do that? My money, Bri, and do feel free to disagree. My money is that people will do nothing until they're in the shit in 2025. Windows 10 is end of life. They don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. Such a shame when they've got all this time between now and 2025 to make a plan and formulate on what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. If they want to stay on Windows, yeah, well, maybe you're right, Brian. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't think your average everyday run-of-the-mill ho-hum user, and maybe I'm being unkind and disingenuous here, I don't think they know. I don't think half of them know where the fucking on button is, let alone anything else. But anyway, what do I know? Some still use Windows 7 and even XP. Absolutely, Johan. So if you get a Heathrow Airport in London in the UK, all their arrival and departure boards are driven by Microsoft Windows XP. There are many departments in the NHS still running Windows XP. For God's sake, really? Hey up, Dolphin. Lovely to see you. Oh, now I'm in trouble. They'll just use Windows 10 until they update machines. Possibly. That's a great shout, Dolphin. Great shout. They'll just leave it running. Although we see Windows XP's getting a renaissance, Dolphin, as well. And I see that Windows XP now has a complete update backend integrated into it, if you so desire that. And there's development starting to take place on new web browsers, apps, etc. All right, it's a very, retro niche market. It's not mainstream by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact that people are starting to bring it back, wow, blows me away. I have some great content for Bri to do. Install Windows XP in 2024, add the new update backend, and add the new web browser. That'd be interesting. I think it does, Dave, but for probably different reasons. First of all, I don't like the fact that, and look, Microsoft have got every right to do this. It's their operating system. I don't like the fact that they're enforcing things on the users, and I don't like the fact that the AI that's going to be included from 24H2 upwards is going to be so heavy that you're going to need newer hardware to run it. I mean, how much do you need to spend on a PC at the end of 2024? How much money do you need to spend on a PC to be able to run the freaking operating system? Just saying. It's mind-numbing. I've been shocked since I started this channel at how many people are slowly dripping, and drip is the optimum term there, over onto desktop Linux. I'm shocked at how many people are doing it. And there's more and more. Because I think people are sick and tired of being told their current PC is e-waste and they need to go and spend a couple of £1,000 on the latest all singing, all dancing PC to be able to run Windows 11 or Windows 12 or whatever it is. Yeah, absolutely, Bri. It certainly will. I fired up WinXP in a VM to play Command and Conquer game. The WinXP VM was fine, but play 644. Yeah, it's kind of off-putting, Dolphin. I agree, but I saw that had all been remastered now. Maybe you were playing the original Command and Conquer. Pinball on XP. Yeah, that's still the one, Johan. I have to say. I don't think there's ever been a pinball game to get close to the free one on XP. Well, it weren't free, was it? But yeah, just absolutely the best ever. Copilot, no thank you. Will continue to make my own choices. Thank you very much. Love it, Dave. Love it. I don't know what's going on here, but it's being a chab. You can play it on Linux too. Yes, you can. Windows looks like it's slowly morphing. Yeah, probably. A lot of people can't afford. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Brian, a lot of people can't pay rent, mortgage, or put food on the table. You got a whole brand new raft of council tax coming up. I dread to think what people are going to do. I really do. So a PC isn't a priority, but like this old banger that I'm using, this is a dual core with 4 gigs of RAM, and every Linux distro I throw on it is running beautifully. Hell, I can even live stream with it. Ridiculous. My other PC, which is double the specs of this, but is still e-waste. It's a Core i5 2400 at 3 gig, 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, and 3 SSDs in it. Now, it does have an NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti 4 gigabyte, and that's what I'm doing all my YouTube content on, and it's running MX Linux, and MX Linux is going nowhere other than staying on that PC. And the other beauty of a PC, of course, is if a component dies, well, you can replace it and just carry on. How cool is that? You don't have to take everything to the tip just because Microsoft Windows 12 wants an RTX 4090 Ti 28 gig graphics card to fucking run. I'm just saying. And I think we're all, including me, guilty of getting pushed on the hype train that we've got to have the latest and greatest when it's absolutely not necessary. Windows looks like you can play on it. So, yep. I use refurbished Dell Optiplex minis. They are great with Linux and have a lot of USB port 6. Yeah, good for you, Johan. Open RA was your saviour. So, Dolphin, have you seen the new remaster of the Star Wars game, which is basically a reskin of Age of Empires / reskin of Command and Conquer? And it's only about £3 on Steam at the minute. You should maybe take a look at it if that's your genre. If you love the Red Alert time games, I'm sure you'll love that. With NVMe SSD, yeah, well, that's where we differ, Johan, because mine are all SATA SSDs, not NVMe's. My main gaming PC, which is currently running Windows 11, which I haven't used since November, since MX Linux went on the secondary PC. This is the third PC, by the way. That's got NVMe in it, but these two PCs are both SATA and they're absolutely terrific. Be making a video soon on Chromebook to Linux. Yeah, that'll be really interesting, bro. I've got a beautiful top of the range Asus gaming Chromebook that was my saviour while I was in hospital recovering from a stroke. And I love it. And it just sits here now gathering dust. And it's such a shame. But that, to be fair, MX Linux is partly to blame for that. Because I've just, I mean, MX Linux is, I've just fallen back in love with it. It's everything you could ever wish for and then some. And I just say, I think most, I dread to use the term mainstream. Most popular Linux distros today are very Windows-esque in operation. The point and click, there's an icon, you click on it, it does something. It's exactly the same on Windows. There's an icon, you click on it, it does something. Who cares whether it's a .exe file or whether it's a .deb? Nobody gives a shiny one. All they want to do is put the pointer on an icon, click on an icon, and something happens. And today in 2024, that's very, very much the case. Hey, Ben, nice to see you. I think I have the original games in a box somewhere. Oh, good for you, Dolphin. The Age of Empires like game. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got Age of Empires to do. I've done Age of Wonders 3. I've got a lot of them type of genre games. So like XCOM and Company of Heroes, they're all to come up on the YouTube, Dolphin, so keep your eye out for them. Although they're not, and it's like the original Fallout, so I've got all the original Fallouts. Although they are not my original genres, I am trying really, really hard to get into them. And because I love them, and I think if you can get over the graphics and not fill it full of mods, just play it vanilla, I think the gameplay quality is far better than what you served up today, but that's just my opinion. This PC and parts cost me nothing. Yeah, good for you, Ray. Oh, you can dumpster dive. Windows 10 was my last Windows. Never used it again. Good for you. Oh my God. I'd rather use Linux than to kneel to all that Windows. Yeah, absolutely, Stealth. I couldn't agree with you more. And the thing is, now we've got things like MX Linux and Linux Mint and Zorin and Ubuntu. You're spoilt for bloody choice. You really are. uh, there is a flat pack for the Force engine for playing original Star Wars Dark Forces. Oh, is there really, Jeff? I didn't know that. You're going to have to enlighten me on some of this stuff, Jeff. I tell you, we're going to have a live chat on Discord one day and chew the cud. You got 11th gen laptop. You're running Windows 10, but sadly it's an Optimus based laptop. Hence, I might put Ubuntu 2204 daily on it. Yeah, okay. Well, good luck with that, Ben. I hope it works out for you. Zero AD is great online multiplayer. Yeah, absolutely. They do that for Dark Forces too, Jeff. Yeah. So, I mean, you've really got a fantastic choice. I can't show you my Steam library on here. A, because it's all on the MX Linux, and B, because I haven't logged, although I've bought Steam down, I haven't logged into it yet. And obviously, I don't want to log into it live on stream. But I mean, since I've had my stroke, I've purchased so many older type games which just run beautifully on the MX Linux. And again, I don't know whether it's all credit to MX Linux, all credit to Valve, or all credit to the pair of them. Because again, it's a very Windows-esque experience. You install your game, you tell it what Proton to use, you click an icon and it works. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Hey up, Dustin. Welcome, dude. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're all good, thank you. Hope you're safe and well. Yeah, but the thing is, Dolphin, it's only about $5 or $6 anyway, isn't it? It's not much. Dark Forces, the remaster. I don't think it's too overly expensive. By the way, it's only the live streams that will be on a different distro every week. All the other YouTube content is all MX Linux because I'm just MX Linux for life until enough it. Just so you are all aware of that. Hang on. Can I open that in a new tab? I should be able to. Yeah, so if you go to my YouTube, you'll see that everything on the YouTube except the live streams is all entitled MX. So I've put MX on the header, of course. The Linux is awesome, is not all MX, that's all different, but it's Linux. SWOTA, that's as you can see on MX Linux. Live with Ebeez isn't all MX Linux, although I think the first two were. And the gaming on MX Linux, which replaced Windows 10.11 in November 2023. That's just me going through my whole library of Steam games and trying every single game out on MX Linux. And I've yet to find one. Now, I do have a whole raft of other playlists. Those are all on MX Linux and should state it. So everything from Star Wars, The Old Republic, to Trucking, to Fallout, Neverwinter, Guild Wars, Valheim, all this sort of stuff, World of Warships, Warframe, is all on the MX Linux. And it should state MX Linux in the playlists if it's on MX Linux. It's as simple as that. As I say, I mean, I've not switched my Windows PC on since November of last year. We've literally been on the MX Linux ever since, and mightily happy we are as well. Just saying. Off to dinner. Yeah, have a nice evening, Bri. Look after yourself. I look forward to your next video. $30 US. You're having a tin bath for a re. I thought it was about $3. Dark Forces 25 quid. Wow. Okay, well, thank you all. Oh, well, in that case, Dolphin, yeah. Jeff, can you pop us a link in? Just saying. Lovely to see you, Bri. Thanks for joining. Stay safe, buddy. And thanks very much for popping in. Much obliged. Dustin, what is the difference between MX Linux and Ubuntu Linux? Okay, so MX Linux is built and based off of Debian, whereas Ubuntu is Ubuntu. And the other thing is, MX Linux has some wonderful, wonderful utilities in, and it's developed by a bunch of people that not only know Linux inside out and back to front, but know how to bring that knowledge to the masses. Whereas Ubuntu is your typical Linux desktop operating system. You can use Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Zorin OS with a bit of point and click. It's good enough. But there will come a time where if you don't have any Linux knowledge, you'll hit a brick wall. With MX Linux, I doubt very much that will ever happen, because the team at MX have taken all that knowledge and packaged it up into user-friendly, simple point and click tools, whereas most Linux distributions don't have that. That's my take on it. Dolphin might disagree if he's still in the chat. But for me, the people at MX Linux who develop and maintain the distribution not only have the Linux specialist knowledge, they know how to bring it within the realms of plebs like me who just wants to point and click. I don't want to learn Linux anymore. I don't care. MX Linux, you can select, if you're on the AHS edition, you can select to run the Licorice kernel, which is really, really good kernel for gaming. And one of the quickest way of balking your systems on Linux is to fart around with the kernels. You'll balk it so quick. The people at MX Linux have taken all their knowledge, and rather than doing in-depth tutorials and you need to open the terminal, do this, do that, they've just added a little entry to the update. So if you're running MX Linux AHS edition, which I am, you can put a tick in auto update the Licorice kernel. And every time there's an update, it just updates it for you. That's how cool the people at MX Linux are. That is what I call fairy dust. Very, very few distros have it. Peppermint Linux, when it was developed by Mark Greaves, had it in spades. MX Linux has it in spades. I can't think of too many other distros that have it. But that's just my opinion. How useful is Licorice kernel for running YouTube? It's not necessary for running YouTube, Dustin. For media, you don't need the Licorice kernel. But for things like gaming, it's got a lot of advantages over the standard kernel. That's why I run it. But if you're not gaming, if you're just watching Netflix, doing, Facebook, YouTube, you really don't need the Licorice kernel. I mean, I'm sure Dolphin will disagree with me if I've got it all wrong. But for me, the Licorice kernel is really good at gaming. It's very, very good for gaming. But if you're not gaming, then you don't really need the Licorice kernel. Music production for the low latency. Yep, there's another great usage case for the Licorice kernel. Thank you, Ray. But if you're just YouTubing, I don't think there'd be an awful lot of noticeable difference between the Licorice kernel and the standard kernel. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. But as I say, I'm sure Dolphin or somebody in the chat will correct me on that. I don't consider myself a Linux expert. I consider myself as just a plain old Linux user. But MX Linux for me has the fairy dust that 99.9% of the other distros don't. You have to add the fairy dust with the other distros. With MX Linux, you don't, because it's got fairy dust in abundance. It's dripping in it. Here we go. Now, here's an answer from somebody who knows, Dolphin. Now, you probably don't need it. There are a few different compile options that the Licorice team enables that make life slightly easier on very recent hardware. Yeah, so you don't need it. More so than Debian kernels of the same major version. Thank you, Dolphin. So there you go. Hey, B, my only requirement for Linux, it plays my dodgy box. Oh, it plays the dodgy box like a mother trucker, Dave. Don't worry about that. I'd be lost without my dodgy box. Absolutely. So there you go. I mean, Dolphin knows a hell of a lot more than what I do. So please ignore me and take note of Dolphin. But personally, I wanted the Licorice kernel for gaming because it's very good for gaming, as opposed to the standard kernel, which is still fine for gaming. Nothing wrong with it. But the Licorice kernel is just a little bit better. And like Dolphin says, it's definitely a lot better on newer hardware for sure. MX has been running like muck off a stick after a week of and it'll be running like muck off a stick, Johan, 6 months after using it for 6 months. Mine's not even slowed down one iota, and the updates keep coming down, and it's flawless and it works, and it just lets me get on to produce my content, which is so refreshing on a Linux desktop, whereas you used to always one issue or some busts or MX, I can't blow enough sunshine up its arse. It's amazing. Uh, for ATS, do you need a better CPU or GPU? Well, for ATS, it's got the updated graphics engine over ETS2. So you need a bit more grunt, both CPU and GPU. But again, it depends very much, Dustin, what resolution and what frame rate you want to run it at. I play both Euro Truck Simulator 2 and American Truck Simulator, and you'll see my videos on the YouTube. Please do be aware of this fact at 720p, because that really does suit the little 1050 Ti 4GB graphics card. If you want to run it at 1080p, then I would heartily recommend nothing less than an AMD Radeon RX 580, 8 gig, or maybe a GTX 1070 Ti 8 gig. If you want to run it at 2K, 4K, or 8K, then you're up in the top end RTXs. I hope that helps you out. Memory usage compared to KDE Neon is much better on MX. Well, it will be, but I'm sure, and Dolphin will correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure MX has a KDE desktop available for it, Johan. GTA 3000K series or 4900X? Probably looking at 360p then, Dustin. Sorry. You've put GTA. Do you mean GTX? No, you could probably mean GTA. Sure, Nvidia did do a GTA series, didn't they? I don't know. I don't even know if they're capable of running the game, to be honest. Unless, again, I've read and misunderstood that wrong. Yeah, GTX 3000 series. I can't think of a GTX 3000 series card. RTX 3000. Yeah, GTX. I didn't know GTX made a 3000 series card unless it's a really old AGP card. Oh, awesome, Dolphin. Awesome. Well, do keep us up to date, Dolphin, on the developments on that, and I'll give it a whirl when it's readily available because I think that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, the fairy dust of MX with the gorgeousness of KDE. Wow. Right. Well, I've pretty much taken up enough of your guys and girls' time. I just want to sincerely thank you all for your continued support. I hope you're enjoying the content on the YouTube. I'm absolutely getting back into my stride and loving it yet again. Um, I would like to say, and I'm not just saying this because Dolphins in the chat, I would like to say a massive thanks to the MX Linux slash Antics team for giving me so many happy hours of pleasure and allowing me to dump Microsoft Windows altogether. I can't thank those guys and girls enough. They do a wonderful, wonderful job, and I think the best way everybody can repay them is to use and enjoy MX Linux. That's just my personal 10 cents. Oh, thank you very much, Dolphin. That's too kind. So you all have a wonderful week. Check out my YouTube to see what I'm up to and what's going on. Thanks to everybody for the support. Enjoy your Linux, your Windows, your Mac, whatever floats your boat. Again, thank you for your support, and I'll see you all in the next one. Just do me dad bit for a go. Bloody well look after yourselves. Take care. Much, much love to each and every one of you. Cheers, everybody. Thanks.